It's very easy to know what to do in Terraria. It's basically a to-do list of only two things repeating forever. Grind and fight boss. Most people have the end goal of beating the Moon Lord, but what if we change that? I've spent a good amount of time on the Terraria Wiki, usually to figure out how to make a cell phone or figure out why they added this painting. Something I noticed though was this option on the side that says random page, so I thought why don't I do what I do best and try to get a random item in Terraria. Alright, first thing, what's the first thing we're getting? Slimy saddle. Okay. That's pretty doable. Okay, I feel good about this one. My plan to get a slimy saddle is simple. Get a good weapon, and get a slime crown. The first thing I do after getting some wood is head to the desert and get cactus tools and armor. The set bonus of cactus armor damages enemies that attack you, which also has the added benefit of dealing a decent bit of knockback, which will help against the many slimes that King Slime spawns. The weapon I decided to use is the musket, so after mining a bit, I take some bombs to the corruption and get one. Then I build some houses for the arms dealer to move in, because 100 musket balls is nowhere near the amount of ammo that I need. Getting a slime crown is a little bit harder, but still doable. I find the platinum I need for the crown easily, and find a single ruby only after using a Spunker potion. Then I build a small arena for the fight and summon the boss. King Slime is really easy on classic mode, especially with a ranged weapon because there aren't any spiked slimes that can hit you. The fight is really easy and I get this idol on my first try, even though it's only a 25% chance, saving me from having to find another ruby. But that only took an hour. So on to the next thing. Okay, what's next? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? Can't get a living tree. Can't get an angry trapper. Can't get that. Dragonfly. I can do a dragonfly. Dragonfly is really simple. I can do that. Getting a dragonfly is very straightforward. I just need to get a bug net and find a pond. The bug net comes from the merchant, so I need a house and at least 50 silver coins. I built 2 houses though, because the guide can't be homeless for some reason. I go underground to find some money, where I find a red slime holding almost 80 silver coins, and I don't even realize it until I kill it. I have 82 silver coins. Damn. After waiting for the merchant to spawn in, I buy a net and try to find a pond. For dragonflies to spawn, cattails need to be in the pond, which usually generate a decent distance away from spawn. I find one past the jungle in this little desert, but at the cost of it becoming nighttime. Dragonflies only spawn during the day, so I have to wait for the whole night to get them to spawn again. Something I didn't mention though is that all of these sessions were recorded during the Christmas event, so enemies have a chance of dropping some presents. Usually this is useless, but one of the presents I got was a candy cane hook, which I used once the dragonflies spawn. Dragonflies can move very fast, up to 83 miles per hour. This hook lets me move fast enough to grapple across the pond and catch one. But these items have been a breeze so far, so let's hope we get something a little bit harder. What's the next thing we're getting? What even is this? Huh? The mechanical battery piece is a huge step up from where we were before. Not only do I need to kill Skeletron Prime, but I also need to do it in expert mode. I sort of like most players would, getting wood and cave diving. I found a ton of basic loot and then got absolutely raw dogged by a yellow slime, cementing the fact that this is going to be a lot harder. After this encounter, I found a desert with an exposed pyramid that gave me a flying carpet. After dying, I do some housekeeping, like digging a fishing hole that I didn't use at all. I made my way to the left side of the world, picking up a water candle from the dungeon and a panic necklace and undertaker from the Crimson. The goblin army came naturally after this, so I tried to beat it without dying, but got a hot steaming pile of death instead. After that I went back to mining, looking for some silver ore for armor and some life crystals. I moved to the jungle after this, looking for one specific item, the boomstick. I found one, along with an anklet of the wind, so I made some lightning boots. Around this time I was ready to fight the Eye of Cthulhu, so I searched in floating islands during the day and got ready to summon the boss at night, and got cockblocked by a blood moon. So I waited for the next light to spawn, and it spawned itself. The boomstick made quick work of the Eye, letting me get a shield of Cthulhu, which replaced my flying carpet. That same night I headed over to the Crimson to start working on Brain of Cthulhu arena, so after that was done I broke a heart and fought it. This fight was a little harder than the last one because the creepers kept moving across the arena when the boss teleports, but it wasn't impossible to deal with. The second phase I used the Star Fury, which killed it eventually. After going home, I made a full set of Crimson armor and a Deathbringer pickaxe and started on a Elevator. After digging for 10 minutes, I came back up and headed to the dungeon to prepare for Skeletron. Once night fell, I summoned Skeletron and got my shit rocked. So I decided to grind for some more health and some silver bullets, which cooked up Mr. Big Skella Bitch. I went into the dungeon looking for some more important items, the handgun, cobalt shield, and a shadow key. After 7 chests, I got all my items. There we go. I went down to Hell next, opened some chests, got a Hell Forge, and mined some Hellstone. In preparation for the Wall of Flesh fight, I tore down some walls in the Obsidian Tower so I can run through with the Water Walking Potion. After getting full Hellstone armor, a Phoenix Blaster, and some Meteorite bullets, I killed the guy with the Voodoo Doll, and summoned the boss. I mostly used the Phoenix Blaster because the Meteorite bullets pierced through the Hungry to hit the boss, which let me win easily. Hard mode is where I have to prepare a lot more. The next boss I will fight is Skeletron Prime, which drops the mechanical battery piece. I went back to the Crimson to break some Crimson Altars and get Adamantite in the world, and had some choice words about that. Fuck you. I went and got a Mithril pickaxe and started on a battle to get Adamantite. After about an hour of mining, I was able to craft a full set of armor. I chose to use the ranged helmet because I also made a repeater and plan on getting a Daedalus Stormbow. But before I do that, I refought the Wall of Flesh and got a Ranger emblem. Now I need to farm souls and get a pair of wings, so I found a good spot in the Mushroom Bomb to farm souls tonight. At some point I found an Ice Mimic and fought it to get a Frost Brand that replaced my Dark Lance. Before I got my wings though, I started to fight some Crimson Mimics because I thought a Dart Pistol might come in useful as a good weapon. Spoiler alert, it sucks. At least not in comparison to a Daedalus Stormbow. I also got a Magic Quiver while farming souls, so I replaced the Panic Necklace with that. I eventually emerged from my little goblin cave to farm some wyverns, set up a rope to the top of the world, got some Jester's arrows, and absolutely fucked up these snaky ass bitches. That was kinda sick. After crafting my wings, I decided to try Prime without a Stormbow. I got a spawner from an enemy, so I waited until night, spawned him in, and immediately died. Now I need to get Souls of Light to get the Stormbow, and Pixie Dust and Unicorn Horns for Holy Arrows, some of the best arrows in the game. Because my Hallow generated over a snow biome, I need to make an artificial biome for better unicorn spawns. So while I waited for that to spread, I headed over to the dungeon and grabbed a water candle, and fought unicorns till I had enough horns. Once again, I was impatient and wanted to end after playing for 8.5 hours straight. So I tried once again without the Stormbow, and was once again ready to spawn the boss, and once again, cock-blocked by a Blood Moon. So I waited for the next night, and was cock-blocked by the Destroyer. So I went to the Underworld to despawn it, and then came back up and spawned Prime. I got a little bit further this time, but a poorly timed dash killed me. So I'm back to farming souls to get another spawner and a Stormbow, actually getting it this time. The first Mimic gave me a hook though, so I farmed again, getting a bow on my second try. I once again slept until night to summon the boss, summoned, and got just over halfway until I died. My thought was I was taking too much damage during the fight, so I tried to get an endurance potion by fishing for an armored cavefish. It took quite a long time to get one, but it happened eventually, also getting the fish required for a rage potion. I slept tonight once again to spawn him in, and tried again to beat it with my new buffs. I started by taking out the laser and then took out the cannon by proxy. Instead of taking out all the arms though, I left the vice and the saw and went straight for the head afterwards. His health kept ticking down, eventually dying and giving me the mechanical battery piece after 10.5 hours. Now, I've done quite a bit of this speedrunning random items thing, and I can confidently say that doing it in Minecraft is so much easier, but not as fun in doing it in Terraria. Maybe because I wasn't timing these. Any item that would be past Plantera though would suck, because I would have to spend more than 10.5 hours getting it, but otherwise it's fine. But to be perfectly honest, in my humble opinion, of course without offending anyone who thinks differently from my point of view, but also looking into this matter into a different perspective, and without being condemning of one's point of view, and trying to make it more objectified, and by considering each and anyone's valid opinion, I honestly believe that Skeletron Prime can suck my dick. Thank you for watching.